Gematria is the practice of assigning numbers to letters. When words relate via numerical value, they show an intrinsic relationship to each other as well as a connection to the information they provide. In my work, I generally use four English ciphers: English ordinal, reduction, reverse, and reverse reduction. Beth Short's gematria shows some chilling connections that can't be written off as pure coincidence. Beth Short adds up to 115. Cleo Short adds up to 115. Remember, that's her father. Killing adds up to 115, as does Leo the lion, her birth sign. Beth died on January 15th, 115. Beth weighed 115 pounds. Now for the year, Beth died in 1947, or the year 47. Beth Short codes to 47, as does Elizabeth. Cleo Short codes to 47. Snuff film, part of my theory of the murder, codes to 47. Again, Leo the lion codes to 47, as well as Algol, Death, LA Times, and Coliseum. That's important because Beth's body was found near Coliseum Avenue. The Roman Colosseum was an amphitheater where the public watched violent, gory exhibits of gladiators and animals fighting to the death. One can't avoid free association of the name with the bloody, violent horrors that took place there, and the numbers bear out this connection. Number 43, Beth Short codes to 43. Again, Cleo Short to 43. Killing 43. Snuff film 43. Sadism 43. Elizabeth 43. July 29, her birth date 43. Trauma 43. And the reverse of the number, which is also significant, 34, we find Mark, as in Mark Hansen, codes to 34, murder 34, as well as black, Colosseum again, and flower. Now for the number 38 and its reverse 83. And I'm looking at 38 because the Black Dahlia's body was found on the 3800 block at the intersection of Norton and Coliseum Avenues. So I'm looking at 38. And we have coding to 38 the following: murder, black, creative, which is an attribute of the Leo zodiac sign, death, black sun, which we'll get into in a moment, Astor Motel, where she was killed, I believe, and then its flip side, 83, which is murder, black sun again, the Black Dahlia, and Los Angeles police, all of these coding to 83. Next, we have the Black Maria, which is the name of the coroner's hearse that carried murdered young women, including Beth Short, to the morgue. We have interesting connections with Black Maria. It codes to 35, as does Black Dahlia and the word Dahlia. We've got the number 33, a symbolic number prized in Freemasonry as it is the highest degree attainable. Black Dahlia codes to 33. Asteraceae 33, which is the Dahlia botanical family name. Norton 33, and Dillon 33, and also 66, which is 33 times 2. It's chilling to note how the numbers connect Beth to her death date as well as to her father. As the primal masculine figure in her life, the son father, he did nothing to nourish, protect, or foster the development that is so crucial to the Leo child. It is no wonder that he factored energetically into her sorry demise. He was the antithesis of a son figure, one that should promote life and growth. And this theme will carry us forward in the final chapter. Getting back to gematria, I checked the Hebrew gematria only briefly, but it yielded the following: Short coded to 328, which also codes to Los Angeles, prime time, celebrities, and shockingly, help me father. The phrase help me father codes to the same as short. Elizabeth Short codes to 978, which also codes to O Lucifer, son of the morning. Illuminati, intelligent ones, and major crimes, which this certainly was. When a number continues to resurface throughout a study, its meaning is significant, and such was the case with the number 23 that we've already seen several times. It appears as the degree of the moon's north node, also called the head of the dragon or Rahu, in the natal charts of not only Elizabeth Short, but also Mark Hansen and Leslie Dwayne Dillon, the prime suspects. It also marks the ascendant degree of the forensic astrology chart cast for January 15th, 1947, which is 23 Pisces. It marks the position of Black Moon Lilith and Mars, which form a square in her 1946 solar return. And in 1947, Elizabeth Short was in the 23rd year of her life, having turned 22 just the summer prior to her death. This is a high recurrence of a special number, and it's considered among certain groups as the 23 Enigma or the 23 code. Just what does this mystery number represent? There's a lot to unpack here. 23 is the combination of 2 and 3, which are the first two prime numbers, and they add up to 5, the third prime number. 2 is a number of polarity, dark light, white black, life death, heaven hell, and so forth, while 3 defines a trinity, a balance between forces. Thus, the number in itself conveys tremendous power, which can turn destructive as the components add up to 5, which represents change, sometimes tumultuous change. 23 is often associated with the practice of the left hand path or magic, whose basic intent is to harness energy in order to produce change. Change in one's circumstances, change in oneself, change within and without. Psalm 23 from the Bible, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," is often read at funerals. So while it refers to death, it also suggests the continuity of life after death and the restoration of the soul. In some occult circles, 23 is seen as a chaos number, a number of destruction from which change is produced. It is considered the sacred number of Eris, the goddess of discord, and may induce demons. W is associated with the demonic realm. One occult writer who explained the meaning of 23 was W. Wynne Westcott, a 19th century occultist whose three initials are W, so he probably knew what he was talking about. He said that 23 described the 23 councils of the world, a cabal-like organization that made sweeping decisions based on their inherent powers over humanity. Sounds like what some today call the Illuminati, or the Bilderbergers, or the Council on Foreign Relations, or the Freemasons. You get the idea. In the I Ching, the 23rd hexagram is literally splitting apart, which is disturbing as well as eerie because that is exactly what Beth Short's killers did to her. They literally separated her into two parts at the waist. The hexagram references separation and loss, and strangest of all, challenges or disputes that may arise in interpersonal relationships. That's putting it mildly in the case of the Black Dahlia. 23 is the ninth prime number, a number of completion and endings, and the 23rd prime number is 83, which features in the gematria chapter as related to certain aspects of the Black Dahlia murder. Murder, Black Sun, the Black Dahlia, and Los Angeles Police, all code to 83. 23 is also the sum of 12, a sacred even number, and 11, an odd number which can have high spiritual significance as well as a dark side. In fact, it was called the devil's number during the Middle Ages. The meaning of 23 swings on both sides of the good evil dichotomy. It signifies destruction and chaos, but also offers the promise of spiritual rebirth and renewal. It calls to my mind that old Steve Miller song, Jet Airliner, with its brilliant line, "You got to go to hell before you get to heaven." One final observation on 23 is its relationship to creation. Each sperm or egg cell contains 23 chromosomes, so that when paired during conception, they total 46. 23 is therefore the number of a creation cycle, which is the domain of the sign Leo, creativity, children, and the symbolic passing of lineage from king to his successor. And so this cycles us back to the symbol of Leo representing Beth Short's sun sign, the absence of a father figure, the need to shine, the desire for mass attention, and their vital importance in Elizabeth Short's Greek life. If you're interested in learning more about the occult symbolism and the astrology of the murder of Elizabeth Short, also known as the Black Dahlia, I invite you to check out my newest book, Desperate Rites, Volume 2, Astrology and the Occult in the Black Dahlia Murder. It's now available at Amazon.com and other online retailers, and it will soon be released in audiobook form on Apple. So stay tuned. I'm BD Salerno. Thank you for watching.